Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Gananaam tva ganapati gum havamahe kavim kavinam upamashravastamam jyeshtarajam brahmanam brahmanaspata anashranvannotibhih sidasadanam Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. In the last class, we finished looking at all the qualifications required to study Vedanta. And then he says all of these qualifications are there in a student who seeks self-knowledge. Tattvabodha adhikarino bhavanti. So these are the qualifications that are found in an adhikari. Adhikari is a qualified student. And so these are the qualifications that will be there in a student who is eligible for studying Vedanta. But then again, remember what I said earlier, that you will not have all of these qualifications in a student who's starting to study Vedanta in full measure. So it will be there in some measure or the other, and then it is up to us to develop on that and then acquire all the qualities. As see, when we acquire all the qualities, that is enlightenment. That's it. So if you have all the qualities in full measure, that means you're enlightened. Okay? And we also saw the third one, the third qualification is all the qualities of the mind. It's basically what we do is we interact with this world, right? This outside world. But then when we start studying Vedanta, we start exploring the inner world. There is an inner world which is in the mind. So that's what it is. So as we start exploring the inner world, then we get to know the mind very clearly. So before this creation, which is outside, the outside world becomes manifest, there is this inner world. So it is already starting there. That's where it starts. Okay, that is the cause, and then this is the effect, if you will. Okay, so then the next question is Tattvabodha kaha. The student asks. So teacher used the word Tattvabodha in his earlier answer, right? He said all the students who are eligible for Tattvabodha, which is Atmajnana, which is the knowledge of the self, right? So all the adhikaris, all the students who are eligible for that will have these qualities, he said. So use the word Tattvabodha. So the student wants to know what that is. So he must have examined his own mind and said, wait a minute, I think I have these qualities to some extent or the other. So I'm ready to know Tattvabodha. So he thought he might as well ask the teacher. That's why he's asking the question, Tattvabodha kaha. So the answer is, Atma Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithya. So he says, Atma is means the self, okay? Atma is Satyam, means it is true. That is the only truth there is, that's the only real thing there is. Tadanyat Sarvam Mithya. Other than that, everything else is Mithya. So he uses these words Atma, he uses this word Satyam, and he also uses the word Mithya. So we're going to look at these three words. So Atma is that which is in and through everything. It's like if you have a garland with lots of beads in it. What is there in and through all of these beads? There's a thread going through, right? But you don't get to see the thread. It is invisible. Yet, that's what is holding all the beads in this mala together. All right? So that's how this Atma is. Atma is in and through everything in this creation, and it is holding everything together. Okay? But it is invisible. It's not available for the organs of knowledge. Okay? The world we know by using all the sense organs, right? But Atma we cannot know like that. We have to go beyond what we see with our eyes or hear with our ears, so on and so forth. Okay? It goes beyond that. But it is the substratum of everything. Okay? It upholds everything. But it is invisible. Therefore, we have to discern it, or we can only be the self. We cannot fathom it any other way. Okay? So that is Vedanta. That is Atma. That's the first word we're looking at. And Atma is Satyam. Everything else is Mithya. Okay? Mithya, it means something that is available for experience, but it is just an appearance. It is not real. It appears, therefore you experience it, but it is not real. So something that is available for experience without really being there is called Mithya. Okay? So in this context, I brought some props with me, and I'm going to ask you what it is, and please humor me, okay? What is this?
Boat.
It's a boat, right? It's a boat. Let's look at this. What is this?
That's one of those games.
Yes. It's a cootie catcher, they call it. Remember? This is not a children's class, okay? You might think you've gone back in time. And so this is a fortune teller. So you write things down inside, and then you just go like this, and the person picks a number or whatever, and you open it, and there's a fortune inside, right? So this is a cootie catcher. So now, just when I brought this up, did it bring you back all those memories from your childhood when you have actually held this and played with it or something, So it has so much, this brings out so much memories and stories out of it, right? Just from this thing. That's one other thing. And let me see, I have one more thing. What's that? It's a party hat, right? Now this also will bring out a lot of memories from the past, all those birthdays that we had, that we enjoyed, and all those birthdays we did not enjoy, right? All of those memories come from just looking at this party hat, right? And then let's see, I have one more thing here. What is this? It's a cup, all right? It's a cup. And what do we do with a cup? We can use it as a teacup or water cup, right? You can pour water in it, tea, whatever we want, juice, anything. So we can drink from this cup. So there are so many functions for this little thing, right? Now, all of these names, all of these forms, right? All of these names and forms. Now, what is it made out of? If you look at it, what is it made out of?
Paper.
It's made out of paper. But did we call it that when I put this up? Did we ever say paper? We never named it as paper. But this is our nature, right? We go for the form, and then the name comes, and then all these memories associated with it. A whole world of memories are there. All of that is brought up just by looking at all these things. When I look at this, I remember in India when I was a child, of course. When it rains, we would make this, or our parents would take some newspaper and make a lot of these for us. And then there'd be a small stream forming. In Kerala, it pours a lot. So Kerala is where I grew up, okay? So we'd go there and we'd try to float this. And it'll go along the stream of that small stream that had formed from the rain. All of those memories come back when I look at this, right? But I never once saw the paper that it is made out of, right? Again, the hat, the paper, never crossed my mind. Everything, all of these things are made out of paper. This is also paper, but we never see it. Although, as if when we're naming it, we're looking at the paper. We're not looking at a cootie catcher. We're looking at the paper, but we never see the paper. This is the beauty of it. Again, here, we saw a cup, but we did not see the paper. This is what is happening. So we look around and we see so many different things. We focus on the name and the form and the functionality, right? We focus on all of those things, but we don't see what is the underlying reality behind it. Okay? That's the teaching. So what we don't see, the paper in this instant, in this example, the paper, that is the reality. Okay? Because that is the substratum of all of these things that I've made with paper, right? That's the substratum. But then it appears as something else, and there is a different function. So now this paper appears as a hat, it has a different function. This appears as a boat, it has a different function. And this appears as a cootie catcher, it has every single one of these has a different function. Because of that, our focus is on that. Because it's always, some transaction or the other that we're focused on all the time, right? And so we miss the truth. The truth is paper. That's the only thing. When you weigh this thing, is it the weight of the cootie catcher or is it the weight of the paper? It's the weight of the paper, right? And and then if I just go like this, now what? Now what happens? Where's the cootie catcher now? It's gone, right? So we never see the reality. That's what is happening in this creation, okay? So how do we arrive at that? We need to erase the name and form. So as when you're looking at something, you take away the name and the form. It is very difficult to do because we have practiced looking at the name and the form from the first time our moms taught us, right? They would point at a tree and say, this is a tree, this is a tree, this is a tree. So we stop seeing what is and we start seeing a tree, right? Right from when our minds are developing as children. So that's what is happening. So as we look around, we see names and forms, but we never see what is. So how do you arrive at what is? You erase the name and the form, right? First, you have to erase the form. It's very difficult to do. You have to keep your eyes open, and whatever you see, you erase the name and the form, and what's left, it's existence, all right? What is it that's lending its existence? If you think about it, you are lending its existence. So then from the outside world, now you come within and you see, where is it? Okay, the name and the form is in my mind and I'm projecting it upon that. If I remove that, then I am the one who is giving it existence. Whatever it is that I'm seeing, it exists in me. And therefore, I must be the reality. Okay? That's how and then you abide in the self. So you have removed all the names and forms, and what is left is the reality, which is yourself. Okay? Something to practice. So, and meditation will also help. When you go for walks, nature walks, you can practice it. So you look around, you'll see trees, you'll hear birds, you'll also see and hear, right? And you can touch. And then in and through all of that, you remove the name and the form, and what is the truth. That which is the substratum of everything is what is. Okay, that isness, that is the truth. Okay? So, the name and the form can be called mithya, if you will. So that is mithya. The form is, it is just an appearance from that which is real. Okay, the substratum. And that substratum is invisibly there. You're looking straight at it, but it is not visible. That's how it is. Everything you're looking at is what is real. But it's because of this name and the form, you get distracted by it. So the reality is lost track of completely. We never think along those lines. Unless we sit in a Vedanta class and we study Vedanta, right? Then you start thinking differently and looking and viewing the world differently. And that's how you arrive at the truth. Slowly but steadily, we'll get there, right? Okay, so let's look at the next verse. So we saw all the three words, right? Atma, Satyam. Satyam means true. See, that which is real will never disappear. It'll never disappear. It'll always be available for you. But then everything that we are experiencing it has a beginning, middle, and an end, right? So Satyam is something that is always there. It's unchanging. It doesn't change. It doesn't disappear. It is always available. So that is Atma. And again, this is only a Sangraha Vakya. Means it is just an aphorism. It will be elaborated upon later. So, but we have looked at it in somewhat of a detail right now. Okay. Let's go to the next verse. Now the student asks, Atma ka. See, I told you that was just an aphorism. But here he's asking for further explanation. What is Atma? So the question is, what is Atma? But when the teacher answers it, he mentions a lot of Anatma. Anatma means non-self. Okay, he mentions a lot of non-self because it's easy for us to recognize non-self because that is available for experience. Atma is not. So he just gives one line of describing Atma, sort of in a positive term. You can never describe Atma in positive terms. You can only describe Atma in negative terms, in the sense that you'll have to negate. You have to necessarily negate all of that. It's like digging a well, if you will. What do you do when you're digging a well? Are you producing water? You're not doing that. All you're doing is removing all the obstacles. And then what comes up is the well, right? It's the water. So that's how it is. You're just making it manifest. All that is unwanted is removed in the process. So that's exactly how you arrive at Atma. All you do is you recognize Anatma and you negate them. And then what is left is Atma. So Atma is there, it is hidden, it is underneath. But it has to be arrived at by negation. It's always negation. When you come to Vedanta, that is what it is. And it's all about negation. Okay? Without negating, you can never arrive at the truth. Okay? Suppose you're walking like you're taking a trail through the woods, and you see a thief. You see somebody holding some weapon, so it appears like a thief. Right? You're seeing a thief. But then the guru is also with you, right? A teacher is with you, and the teacher looks at it and he says, "No, don't worry, come," because he sees the truth. It is a post. It's a trunk of a tree, and it appears as if it's a thief, because the lighting is not proper, and so that is what it is. It's just an appearance. So the one who sees clearly, and most people miss it. All of us miss it really until we are made aware of that. That there is something more than what you see. So it's a projection, and when that projection is seen for what it is, then you arrive at what the truth. Okay. So Atma kaha, the student asks, what is the self? Then he says, Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktaha Panchakoshatitaha San Avasthatraya Sakshi Satchidananda Swarupaha San Yastishtati Sa Atma. This is the answer, a long answer. So he lists 11 anatmas. Okay. The first set is 3 bodies. Okay, that's the first set. And the second set is panchakoshas, the 5 sheaths. And the third set is the 3 states of experience. And in every state of experience, there is an experiencer, a different experiencer for each set. So so how many do we have now? 3 plus 5 plus 3. So that makes it 11. Okay, so we're going to look at the individual that I take myself to be, this person that I take myself to be, is going to be looked at from so many different angles, and then you come up with 11 anatmas, non-self. Okay, and all of that has to be negated as not the self, and then what is left is the real self. Okay, so what is the nature of the self? Is Satchidananda Swarupaha. Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat is existence, okay, existence absolute. And then Chit, it is awareness absolute. And Ananda. Ananda is beatitude. This is the Swarupa of Atma, real nature of the self. Again, this will be described in detail, so let's go to the next verse. So obviously the student is going to ask, what is the first one of the 3 bodies that he said, right? Sthula Shariram Kim, he says, what is this Sthula Sharira? What is this physical body? Then the teacher says, Panchikrita Panchamaha Bhutaihi Kritam Sat Karma Janyam Sukha Dukkhadi Bhogayatanam Shariram Asti Jayate. Actually, this has to be switched. Jayate, Asti, Vardhate, Viparinamate, Apakshiyate, Vinashyati iti Shadvikaravat Etat sthula shariram. The reason is this: these 6 modifications that the body goes through is listed here. It comes from a text called Niruktam. And Niruktacharya is the one who, Niruktacharya means the author of the text called Niruktam. He is the one who puts this, okay? And the order gets mixed up in this text for some reason. I don't know if it is a, so it's actually Jayate first and then Asti. Okay, so I'll explain it later. So Sthula Shariram, what is Sthula Shariram? So Sthula Shariram has a general cause and a particular cause, okay? The physical body. So what is the general cause? Panchikrita Panchamahabhutaihi Kritam. So there are 5 elements. If you study chemistry, I think there are 118 elements or something like that. And out of that, 94 is naturally available in the nature. 94 occur naturally, and the rest of them are probably a combination of the others. So, but then when we study Vedanta, we do what's called reductionism. So we reduce it down. So if you reduce it down, there's only 5, right? Five elements. There's Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apaha, and Prithvi, these in Sanskrit, which means space, air, fire, water, and earth.